It's 8 p.m. Let's start our live stream today. We're in Miami-Dade in the city of Aventura. Miami-Dade is a big city, right? And Aventura is inside it, okay? And the title of today's live stream is, obviously it's from one day, right? We're on April 8th, 2026. The title of today's live stream is Uncertainties. And it's interesting to note that uncertainties are a thing. Everyone has uncertainties. Everyone has them. Even as a baby, we have uncertainties. Our problem is how we deal with uncertainties and eliminate them. When you eliminate an uncertainty in a harsh, quick way, you can end up with some deviations. Detours. Why detours, Jackson? Because uncertainty is part of reality. Uncertainty is what life is all about. So today we're going to see with you, and we're going to discuss it together. I'm going to share these ideas I have about how uncertainty enters your body, how you can react to uncertainties in various ways. You can open yourself to life's uncertainties. You can open your heart, relax, open your heart, open yourself to uncertainty. To live with one's own uncertainty, and suddenly at certain moments you adopt a belief, a word, a narrative, a behavior, a habit, a custom, a faith, and then you go ahead and do it. And in that doing, in that moment of doing, you can lessen the uncertainties a little bit at that moment. But uncertainty is something that's always present in your life. You'll always have uncertainty, always. And some beliefs or some things I can introduce to the population can reduce uncertainty. If something within you reduces uncertainty, you have the feeling that this something is true. Look, the feeling that something is true because it reduced uncertainty, it doesn't mean that when you reduce uncertainty, you've gotten closer to the truth. No, you have the feeling it could also be a lie. So what do we want to do today to prepare you to look at, to appreciate, to have uncertainty today, and much more today than before? Doubt, that doubt that you have. Genuine doubt and uncertainty become proof of honesty. Those who are very certain and have no doubt are already closed off, already packaged with a narrative already prepared and tied to their bodies. Whoa, today we're going to talk about how this body can contract to reduce uncertainty, because it contracts by adopting narratives, adopting beliefs. So beliefs that you have and that I have, and I have quite a few beliefs, not just religious ones, but beliefs in the scientific field, dietary beliefs, beliefs about how to behave in this. Culture, or within that culture, beliefs, habits, desires, and faith, everyone has them. And within these belief processes, when you adopt a belief, uncertainty diminishes. So the belief is adopted for a doing, for a feeling, for an enjoyment. It's not meant to be. To be yourself, you have to embrace a little more uncertainty. Some people say, hey, Jardine, but you already talk about difficult topics and now you're saying we need to make room for uncertainty. Exactly. We need to make room for uncertainty, open up, relax. Uncertainty, embracing uncertainty as a natural process, not that you need to seek something to remove uncertainty from your body. And I'm going to try to talk about it in a few ways, okay? And so that we can approach it from several different points of view, from different perspectives, to see if we can address uncertainty from various angles, from various references, okay? So the first thing that's really important, I read a book a long time ago, which is about the Toltecs, how the Toltecs thought, the words of the Toltecs, okay? And a part of this book by the Toltecs talks about words. Words are winds, words are a representation of what is. Okay, but ideas are made of words, and words leave you with a bodily structure. And that's what we're going to talk about today. You use words to not do, and it's not the word, it's not the words. The word will find a space within your body. The narrative will find a space within you to settle. Look how interesting what we're talking about is. We're talking about narratives and thoughts that become incorporated within you. It comes a lot from the idea of the word becoming flesh, okay? You made meat, you have this idea, the narrative comes and fits you. I talked to you before about proprioception and interoception, just reviewing. Proprioception is your position in space, the muscles, tendons, and how your position is affected. You close your eyes and you can see how you are positioned. Whether you're like this or not. And interoception is the most internal thing, the internal tensions. Proprioception has information that actions are synchronized, you have a certain control, and they are fast. And interoception is not synchronized, it's slow, and all the emotions and feelings stay there inside. And then I expanded on that interoception. Technically speaking, interoception has to do with your food, your culture, what you listen to, what you do. You absorb the outside world and synthesize it in your body through interoception. And interoception itself is about projecting yourself outward. You project yourself, you make yourself present, you place yourself in an outward figure. And that's where uncertainty comes in. Because sometimes when you're about to put yourself out there, you want to be sure of something, sure that the group accepts you, sure that you have a sense of belonging. Everyone needs a sense of belonging. But sometimes when you choose a narrative without it resonating with you, without you having a critical understanding of it, and it embodies you, the cry isn't yours. It's not your turn to speak. You've ceased to be a narrative and become a representative of someone, of a discourse, of an idea. And this idea, truthfully, if you had been born into another culture, would never have come close to you. So you are being used by an idea. The word has become flesh in you. Uncertainty is the soul of culture. It's all very complex. There's too much talking. I'm going to cut back a little on the talking. Look, to make it better, we're going to do the following. If you simply close your eyes, and you, not now, with your eyes closed, you're going to feel your shoulder tension here, okay? This muscle tension in your shoulder. Close your eyes and try to sit, feel the weight of your body, feel your feet on the ground, feel things, shoulder. Relax, then exhale completely and see if you're breathing. Try to make your breathing a little more abdominal, then exhale. Long abdominal breaths. What are we talking about? I'm taking a long breath. I'm creating space for you. And these spaces you're creating in your body are precisely to allow for more uncertainty. It's not about enabling belief at this moment. Belief is when you wake up, go in the morning, go to work, do something. You need the belief that the bus will arrive, what time it will arrive, that it will leave. I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, I'm this, I have my job. That's part of you going about your business, and your breathing is already a bit more thoracic, not so much abdominal, because you're doing it. So what happens? You are an element. You make yourself an element. You make yourself a tool. Just look at my shoulder. I lean forward a little, I close my chest a little, and I become a thing, a point, an idea. I close myself off to become something. When I close myself off to become something, it's because I am becoming that tool, that word, that belief, that idea, this doing often necessary. What is my problem? I close myself off to the doing. I do it, and sometimes I can't come back, bring my shoulders down, relax, because I'm carrying part of the narrative, part of my belief, because I don't want to have uncertainties. So I carry the belief that was meant for doing, for living. You don't live belief, you use belief. Did you notice the uncertainty as we're saying? When you have a when you reduce the uncertainty with the narrative, the feeling you get is that suddenly you often have to hold your breath. How does that work? Let's say you believe in something and you're defending that belief you have. If what you believe in is about food, like how to make the best food, whether sugar is good or bad, or just nutrition in general, whether you're vegan or not, you're defending something. When you're defending something, the defense reduces uncertainty. But I reduce uncertainty because now I am suddenly vegan or carnivorous or whatever, okay? But at the moment I'm defending something, my breathing becomes shorter and my chest tightens a bit. My shoulders tend to close my chest a little and I try to lean forward. And I'm defending an idea. I'm reducing uncertainty. That's what I want to leave you with. When you reduce uncertainty, you close yourself off a little more. You close your body a little more because uncertainty is diminished when you embody a narrative, a belief, a habit as if it were true. So you reduce uncertainty and then you ratify that belief. And when you reduce uncertainty with your body being projected forward and you have this narrative, you no longer have as much critical sense. And by not having critical sense, you have certainties. Uncertainty decreases. And these certainties cause you to see errors in everything that appears, and you don't correct the errors you see. And it reinforces the narrative you've adopted. I'll return to that sentence. Genuine doubts and uncertainties are proof of honesty. If you have genuine doubts about anything, if you have uncertainties about anything, genuine honesty is proof of honesty. If you are certain of everything, yes, you know everything, right, wrong, it's a sign that you are already incorporated into a narrative. It's a sign that your body has already been hijacked, that something, someone's word, lives in your flesh. Remember that phrase? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word became flesh. When someone's words, the words of a teacher, a pastor, a leader, catch up on you, your critical thinking disappears, your uncertainties diminish, and you become a hostage. You sell your time and attention to that leader, and while they may remain uncertain, you are left with certainties, and you feel good, and you develop a bias towards less uncertainty, more well being. Be careful. It's a kidnapping of the body. So, what you need to know is that uncertainty, it creates a space. Uncertainty is a space between the other's words and the flesh of our own body. The other person speaks blah, blah, blah. Anyone, father, mother, speaks blah, blah, blah. Or spoke about your mother, pastor, it doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. This space, this word, when it comes, this speech, when it comes into your flesh, whoa, I need a space. What space is that? Take a deep breath, open your chest, open your chest. Let go of the trapeze. Open here, warning, it's the other person's speech. You're going to embody that speech without going through your critical center because you're tense or because you want to be accepted. And then you'll embody a speech. You'll use your flesh to play the other person's words. You'll deny your DNA, which has processes that could generate variations of that speech and could live well with uncertainties. Do you understand? Sometimes I go somewhere and start saying something and realize that the person didn't understand anything, but she is ashamed of the doubt. And when you're ashamed of the doubt, it's very complicated because doubt is important. You need doubt. It's uncertainty. Life is like that. So you open yourself up a little to doubt. When you have a bunch of narratives and ready made phrases that aren't even yours, that came into your head through the media, through the internet, because it has already hijacked your narrative. That's exactly it. I think that's me. And it starts here. This guy is a thief. This is such and such. And then you'll see there's nothing true about it, but it's already adopted. You're already embodied. You already live the other person's words. You've already ceased to be yourself because you no longer have critical thinking skills. Because that narrative has already taken hold, it's already closed, it's already locked its head, it's already become serious, you've already become an instrument. An instrument for what? So that the other can put their voice into your body because your flesh is already being controlled by the speech of the other, of the leader, of the Bible, of the Quran, of Buddhism, of anyone. That speech, sometimes 2, 3,000 years ago, that speech, some leaders who, with that speech of thievery and offerings, take those resources and impose on you this acceptance, this way of being. Okay, that's religious. But I take the politician will also instill in you this way of seeing this ritual, or take the aspect of food. Food will be this way of being and living, all areas of knowledge. Whoever profits a little from it takes that resource and imposes that way of thinking, being, and knowing on people. Words, but you have a body, you have flesh. And then you need to figure it out yourself. I'll figure you out. And there's something really good about that. Always, you're talking to someone and you start monitoring them. My breathing is a little more. She's nervous, and look, her heart is pounding and her breathing is chest deep. If your breathing is chest deep, you're already in a kind of defensive state. Either you're defending yourself from the words or you're already adopting a tool to control these people into accepting it this way because they have to accept it this way. There can't be any uncertainty there. Sometimes I talk to my father in law, I talk to several people. Okay, what does this mean to you? Then the person says, this is already resolved. I don't want to question it. I don't want any uncertainty about it. You understand? When you don't want any uncertainty about something, proprioceptive external body position, or it can be introspective, already an internal metabolism, an energy that is there, a tense internal thing, because you have already positioned yourself in those words, in that way of being, in that belief. It is no longer a belief for doing, it is a belief for being. If the belief is for being, your body is being harmed, it is being hurt. It becomes a reflection of the belief, the portrait of belief, and there your freedom will be based on belief. Your freedom to think critically revolves around your blind spot regarding belief. And belief here, let me explain clearly, isn't just religious belief. It's belief that I'll earn my salary tomorrow, it will be one day, it will dawn on me, or it will rain, the dollar will rise or fall. That's my job, my children. Everything you think will happen in an hour is part of a certainty. You're not sure what will happen in an hour, in 2 hours, you're not. So you use narratives to give you a sense of home, a sense of security. You sleep in your narratives to feel at ease, but you are not them. Uncertainty needs to have a place within you and of well being. Let's say you already have your salary. Let's say you already have your job, which is a very interesting and very good thing. There are people who don't have that, and it's more complicated for them. The uncertainty for them increases a lot. They will have to seek certainty, reduce uncertainties with religious leaders and such, who keep promising something and will take away the little they still have. And when they get something, they still share it. But man, sometimes the religious leader helps them at that moment. They don't even have a job, so it's much more complicated. So you see, when you have your job and your things, you already have a process of, look, I'm going to work, the money will come. I'm not able to pay the bills now, but I'll try later. You go through this process to ease your body, reducing the uncertainties you have. But there's a way to ease your body by accepting the uncertainties. especially if you're already seeing some financial returns. You have a financial return, and yet you still have a lot of uncertainty. Oh, okay. How do I reduce the uncertainty? Look, relax. Relaxing doesn't mean stopping doing things. No, lengthen your breath. Relax your shoulders, open your chest, open your chest. Relax your jaw. Look this way, look that way. Make space so you have the flexibility to turn to the other side. Lengthen your breath, close your eyes. Feel that anything can happen. Feel that uncertainty itself can take your breath away. It's okay to have uncertainties. It's not okay at all because the world is full of uncertainties. It is, it was, and it will be. Narratives diminish, but they diminish into action. You have a narrative like this, a narrative like that. You go there, use the narrative and action. You return to the world of uncertainty. Look, I'm sleeping, but in a way that allows you to completely relax and open yourself to nothingness. I don't need to believe in anything before I go to sleep. I can just relax, really relax. So my breathing can go down. Why do I say my breathing can go down? Sometimes my breathing is up here. When it goes down, it goes underneath. It might be short and quick, but underneath. And then I catch it along its length and I leave this world of uncertainty. What uncertainty will remain? Me. Does my family love me? Do they not love me? Am I important? Am I not? There's no need to think about it. The uncertainty surrounding it is a good thing. Never mind. Has the day passed? He leaves. Relax. You're going to sleep. You are fine and you are compatible. At this moment, you don't need to believe. You are letting go of your body to sleep. Night is falling. You're going to sleep. You let go of your body. Some people like to pray, meditate, stretch however they like. That's fine. But look, prayer, meditation, stretching basically lengthens your breath. And it will release your bodily tensions. You can do this directly. This is the raw, the brutal part. Lengthen your breath, release bodily tensions. Do it with your prayer, do it with your meditation, do it with your stretches. But lengthen your breath. Allow uncertainties to appear in your head without you defining anything and be calm. And you look at it. Sleep comes, things happen. In sleep, in fact, critical thinking doesn't happen. During sleep, from the first phase to the second, you completely lose critical thinking. Then the phrases come, the signs come. This is very interesting for you. When you're almost in your audience from N1 to N2, specifically from N1 to N2, at N1, you're opening up and feeling the essence of the house, the noise of the house, the road noise, the sound. You feel everything in the house. At N2, you're already in the middle of the words, but the words already have, when they come, they already create an image and you don't correct an error that they create. And that's what I'm telling you, the sixth critic. The image comes or the sound comes and it already creates an image in your brain. It already creates an image in the illusion that you're almost dreaming. It has become a reality even in small phrases without correction. This happens to us when we are fixated on a narrative or a belief. You look and detect me, and that already creates, already reinforces the narrative because you don't have room to breathe, because you haven't allowed space for uncertainty, because that's it. So, in other words, your God is already Allah, your God is Jehovah, your God is Pachamama, your God is Tupa, your God, it's already locked in. You won't let go of that. And when you won't let go of that, everything you see becomes a reinforcement for your narrative. So is this political party already evil? Is this person evil? Does he only want my harm? So you only reinforce the narratives. Why? Because you no longer give space to your uncertainties. Is that really it? If I were in a different situation, or if I saw reality without listening to these people who are constantly bombarding me with messages on social media, would that be the case? Uncertainty is fundamental because suddenly you are being deceived by certainties, and certainties don't belong in the real world. The real world is full of uncertainty. Or do you use narratives for a purpose? Yes, but it's for a purpose. Then you have to unpack them. Unpack them because technology comes along and that purpose, for example, typing no longer happens. Repairing watches no longer happens. But that was a powerful purpose. It was a powerful profession before. It isn't anymore. The certainties were momentary. They were gaps. They were things in a time and space. That time, that space passed, that ended. They are stages. It's like surfing a wave. The wave ended. That surfing is no more. So you notice, and it's all uncertainty. So we're going to have to keep tinkering, looking, having doubts. When you don't have doubts, what happens is that your response is very quick. The world comes, hits you, what's outside hits you, and already brings a response from you without you anchoring it in your body. So you have to have your body better prepared to withstand uncertainty without selling your consciousness to narratives that offer relief. Listen to what I'm saying. You prepare your body to live with uncertainty. Why? Because then you don't need to sell your consciousness to a narrative that says, look, this will happen if you do that. Those are narratives, or after death or whatever. You're not going to sell your consciousness to those narratives because you know this is uncertain. Then someone comes along and gives an explanation, those simple explanations. The simpler the explanation, the more out of touch with reality the person is. Explain it easily, of course, that's it. But listen, continue in your uncertainty, but with a certain bodily stability, accepting your body, broadening your shoulders, opening your chest, opening your feet, relaxing the tension within, opening your smile. Is that so? You believe like that? Look, your idea is interesting, but there are other references, other points of view. Is there any material basis to your belief, or is it simply a belief based on the narrative, the narrative, the narrative? To reduce uncertainty, to make you think you're on the path to truth. And then you'll see there's no truth at all. It's just a narrative within a narrative within a narrative because you're running from uncertainty and someone is stealing your consciousness. Your body is turning to flesh. Someone's words are becoming flesh within you. They're taking root within you. Look, you are meat. I am flesh. We use the verb. The verb cannot be our flesh. The verb cannot be embodied in us. No, the verb of others. Do you understand? The verb of others is the verb of others. They spoke, it's their expression. You have your flesh, you have your way of being and living. The important thing in your flesh is flesh. It's look, open your shoulders a little, lower yourself, relax this part, open this up. How is that you? What is your idea? Really, do you believe in that? Great. I know other people who believe like you, but I don't have a formed opinion on what you're saying. Then the person, how can you have doubts? And they create tension. They want to create tension. When you become tense, your brain speeds up, it becomes defensive, and then that person's narrative gets inside you. And that narrative or that person's words take root within you because then you're stuck with that narrative inside because you don't want to tolerate the uncertainties and doubts. Have uncertainties, have doubts, work with your honest doubts and uncertainties because there are people. I read a book called The Power of Doubt. Fantastic. The book has a scientific study about vaccines, and some companies are paid to go there and disrupt the work to say that the sample size is too low, that more samples need to be taken, that it's not good enough simply because some companies are making more money. So they attack the vaccine saying, look, it needs more review, it needs more data. Look what happened in this case, what happened in that case. And they start picking random cases. And that's why I'm telling you this. A stopped clock is right twice a day. If it's stopped for 3 hours, it will pass 3 in the afternoon and 3 in the morning, and it will be right. It stopped. It doesn't work. And some people say, look, but the vaccine has affected some people. It's like a stopped clock. They take an example that's useless. It's not stochastic. It's not probabilistic. It's nothing. They force a narrative on you to give you certainty. And the certainty is false. And the certainty only gives you false relief. But this relief leaves tensions in the body. And when you change areas, this tension remains. Even without that, we still have these bodily tensions. No, relax, open up. It falls, it opens, it releases uncertainties, doubts. To live in this world of doubts, in this world of uncertainties, narrative, that narrative for him to create, that belief for that other person to create, that faith to ride a bicycle. So enjoyable, that faith. I know how to ride a bicycle. I have faith. Go ahead, ride a bicycle. Enjoyable, finished, stop. You don't know how to ride a bicycle as well as a runner. No, I have doubts about riding a bicycle. But when I'm riding, I take a little bit of that faith. I say, then ride a little, come back, and open your heart to learn more, to have critical thinking, to live with the uncertainties of life and live well. Not running away, not being afraid, because with fear someone comes and instills their own message in us. We have our bodies, they will be happy and content, they will sleep well, they will return in peace, calm, relaxed, open to doubts and uncertainties, and able to adopt narratives and let go of narratives. I have a problem, which is that sometimes I focus too much on what to do when I come back, and everything still isn't all right, you understand? So then I have to get a massage, stretch something, okay? And you probably have a problem too. When someone says something, you might freeze up, and then you can't let go. Okay, but it's night. We're going to try to let go, stretch, to sleep with uncertainties, with doubts, and sleep well and relaxed. That's what I wanted to leave you with this Wednesday until a hug.